Hey guys, and welcome to the Surge Growth Partner Podcast, a podcast where we interview top level executives inside leading and growing companies in the IT and cybersecurity space. Excited to have our guest today, Afshan. We'll be diving into her story and some engaging insights into the IT industry. So I'll go ahead and kick it off to you, Afshan. If you could just introduce yourself and tell a quick snippet of your story and your background prior to starting your companies, or just give me an overall background in general, because I know you've done a lot of different things. Of
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
course,
Amazing
of course.
energy. Just about the right energy I need this seasons to keep going. Thank you.
Of
And
course.
yeah, about me, I'll try. Let me see, where should I start from? And if I have to kind of keep it short and quick for all of us here. Yeah, to begin with, I started off with TCS long ago. And when I started, I was more into the BMS, business management systems, and trying to understand how businesses operate. And then I turned towards looking into IT as a department, and it got my attention. And then there was no looking back. I've grown more and more into systems. So when I started off, it was more or less about being the mid-level executive, and I was recruited off the campus back in India, Hyderabad, and I started off as uh, you know, uh, like a supervisor for TCS. We were working for product partners, Beachbody back then, international
Mm.
processes from India, and then I traveled to US soon after that. Then worked with various companies like Google and Symantec and AssetMark and a few other companies, Experian. So understood the systems and everything, but I was always passionate to draw everybody's attention and processes and systems into a one-stop shop. How can I
Mm.
bring processes together and bring that about one-stop shop solutions? Work with candidates, and mostly when I started off, it was immigrants, but then later on, uh, we did expand into a larger market, a wide range of services for all types of customers and candidates. And that's where I got an opportunity to build Solution Sync, which has a very good standing in market today. The company was more about having candidates. It was R&D, recruitment and placement, more or less, recruiting the right talent for the right client, making sure that a one-click apply, for example, right? So a client coming in should be able to pick the candidate, verify the background, get everything they want, have the checklist in a considerable amount of time. It should be accurate and quick. That's what the agile, the scrum talks about, making it accurate and quick. So that was the VMS, the vendor management system I wanted to build, which I could do with Solution Sync, and we seen a great success and still are. And then we alongside was Sync IT Learning, which was e-commerce platform. The IT industry in general today is kind of facing a gap, a generally accepted protocol or a gap where it is about what client needs versus what a candidate can offer versus continuous development, continuous learning. The technologies are emerging day in and out. I've had consultants start off using using QTP as an automation tool at work and merged into Selenium. So the technology is changing. I mean, if you have to go back and think about, we started, I think the coolest platform for us in our college to flirt and to do whatever we want was Orkut. We started off with Orkut, and then we merged into Facebook, we merged into Instagram. So the technologies are emerging. How do you keep up with that? I cannot really be having candidate consultants or myself tell clients, hey, you know what, I did QTP all my life, don't put me on Selenium, it's not going to work. So e-commerce came into picture. Sync IT Learning came into picture as an e-commerce platform to combine various education courses and studies for experienced or non-experienced students to come on board and learn with us. And then it was more focused on BAPM, and I did it with my friend and a business mentor, Alok Bhatia, a well-known name in this industry for 30 years. And now I've merged into Diversity Learning, which is more focused on technical. E-commerce was more about placing the global leaders, which are BAPM. As we know, 22% of the world global leaders are BAPMs, business analysts and project managers. And now we are into Diversity Learning, which is about technical executives, developers, and testers, understanding how we make the right developer as the companies need, and also help those existing developers enhance their skills, because technologies are emerging. It's emerging. You know, I often go to these conferences and people working in companies like Salesforce, people working in companies like Workday. It is amazing on where they started and how they have grown into every feature and functionality available for the end users today. So that's about my journey in a nutshell. Like I said, I will try to keep it short, but yeah,
Perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
sure with an extensive background like yourself, it's hard to compact everything. But
It's hard, but I try.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am curious though. Obviously you've gone and you've started a couple of different companies. You've done a couple of different things inside the entrepreneurial, venture world. What was it about, building businesses and trying to find the being in IT, whatever it is. What was it about that kind of sparked your interest or made you want to pursue that in terms of your career? What was there a point in your childhood, or what was it that kind of sparked that initial interest?
Six Sigma. Six Sigma. I remember I got my green belt when I was 19. Literally, I was 19. I was undergrad when I was picked for a job at TCS back in India. And I remember one of my mentors were like, no, 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 you are very sharp. You should do it. You have something in you. You should do it. So I went for the Six Sigma class. I'm like, I've got to do it because my mentor says so. But once I went into it, then there was no looking back. It trained my brain into understanding how I can bring solutions. So I became solution oriented.
Mm.
So for me, I can get into any company, understand their as's, the processes and the operations that they're doing. I can understand the gaps, write it down, process map it, draw it, and then offer a solution. And the solutions more or less are based on accuracy and speed and money. Everybody loves money. So everybody loves money. That was my interest. And I know, I mean, I meet all these people. I have all these certifications: CSM, CSPO. I went for enterprise agile coaching, lean agile coaching. And I have all these friends working as VPs and CEOs and COs, and they're like, why are you always talking about Six Sigma? The world has grown into PMP and Scrum and Lady, come on. I'm like,
Uh,
no, it all started with Six Sigma. It all started with Green Belt.
you have to let
So
him know. You have to let him know.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you got, I always love hearing kind of the background of how people kind of get into things because I think it's so interesting to me. One of the things I did want to ask you as well, obviously you've been inside the industry for a while. You've seen the evolution of, just IT in general and kind of, where we started and where we kind of are now today. And I wanted to ask you in terms of, any types of trends or upcoming, you know, articles that you're really looking at that you think that you want to pay attention to and that you also think maybe the audience should also be paying attention.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of us are panicked right now with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotic programming picking up. There is a lot of confusion at task. There is a lot of emotional reaction to how the AI is picking up. But I want us all to understand that AI is in to help us. It is to make the human interaction with machines and systems and programs easier. This is to help you. It is time that we step up and see how we can use AI at work and in our lives. Be ahead of it. Be ahead of it. There's nothing to be scared about it. There's nothing to be concerned. Your jobs are not going to be taken away. There will be a shift in how you do things because it's more about automation. It is more about making things in lives easy, right? I mean, we've been evolving from times of rub the stones, fire comes out. We've been evolving since then.
Yeah.
So I talked to these candidates and managers, and there were a couple of very, very high-profile candidates. I can't name them, but let's say from Fortune 500 companies who were kind of either laid off or let go, and they have all these things to say about AI and artificial intelligence. I'm like, no, no, no. Step back, analyze, calm down, see how AI can help us, how artificial intelligence can help us. If you don't allow the AI to do what you want them to do, then they will dictate you what they want you to do. So,
Yeah.
human brain is always a step ahead of any technology that comes over. There is no way anything can take over unless you allow it to take over. So understand that, right? I mean, for example, a very quick example would be the POS, the point of sale system. Like now I go to Safeway, I can choose to scan my item and do an a self checkout, right? Like just go ahead and do a self checkout. It is to
Yeah.
make your life easy. I remember when the POS project started with Albertson and all these companies, and people were like, "Oh my
Mhm.
God, my job is gone." Well, no, it's not. There's a shift in how we do things. There's a change in how we do things. So, just
Yeah.
be positive, learn about it. There's more to come in the space of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotic programming. There's more to come, but first things first, there's nothing to be scared about. Your jobs are not going to be taken away. There will be a shift, a change in how you do things. It will
Yeah.
be more automated. It will be more black and white. It will be more process oriented. A quick example would be when I started as a technical recruiter here in US. We did email submission. There was an email submission. But today, I'm building all these recruitment companies and e-commerce companies, and it's completely via portal based, VMS, vendor management system. The B2B
Mhm.
interaction, the business to business interaction is through a software. I
Yeah.
now I don't sit and email a client about the candidate I have. I have to get into the portal and then upload the clients that I have, the candidates that I have with their background check with the information. It is more software based interaction. So that's where I want everyone to, pay
Yeah,
attention.
yeah, no, that's a great point. And I think that a lot of people often are kind of scared of artificial intelligence or this, so they're always going to take over the world. And obviously that I feel like the introduction of any new technology is always crazy, right? When the internet was first introduced, there
Yeah.
was people who were like, "Oh, this is absolutely crazy. What is the point of the internet? The internet's going to be this and that." And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like us as humans, we're always scared of novelty. We're always scared of something new. But
Yep.
I think to your point, you have to kind of make sure that you're using this technology as a way to make your life easier and also to enhance what you're doing inside your job, right? Because that's the most
Exactly.
important thing. AI is a tool, right? And if you're able to use the tool to your advantage, you're going to be able to put yourself ahead of other candidates and put your set of health ahead of other businesses as well. So that's a phenomenal point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
I did want to kind of now transition and just talk a little bit about exactly what you guys are building over there at Dive IT Learning. If you can just kind of go into that and share that with the audience.
Oh yeah, dive IT learning is a very interesting journey for me,
Yeah.
because I was pretty much. So what happened is, I would say my candidates and customers and clients have driven me to put dive IT learning in place. So
Hmm.
already had a batch going on where we had candidates come in, learn, and and then they're like, "Why don't you have it under a brand name?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. I already did this in Sync IT Learning." So that's the funnier part about getting started there. But yeah, so Dive IT Learning is again an e-commerce platform where I want to attract potential learners all over US, all over world, any part of the world, to come on board with us for few USPs, unique selling points that we bring. As in, see, I don't all these people coming to me have already graduated from the universities. They're all educated people. It's a prerequisite for them to at least be a graduate or be an engineer. So I do not want to bring the bookish information that they already learn or they can learn. It is more about hands on what the hiring managers are looking for, along with making sure they have the brief theory and they have the background to what they are getting into. Because the classification of candidates approaching us through Dive IT Learning, the e-commerce platform, is two: those that are experienced and are looking to enhance their skills for job security and sustainability, which is a big concern of the industry today. And the second are the freshers. They're off the college. They're like, I just finished my graduation, my BTech. Most of the people coming from my place, I don't know, 80% of people coming from my place are BTechs. So yeah. So those are the two classification of customers. But yes, Dive IT Learning is trying to come up with technical develop courses around developers and testers that are the direct need of hiring managers at Fortune 500 companies.
Oh wow, yeah, super niche, and I love that. I love that you kind of found something in the market that you deemed as a problem, and you're like, you know what, I have to build something around that. I think
Yeah.
that's the best. Those are the best entrepreneurs, right? They see the problem and they get after it, and they build a solution around it. What would you say that you think is the most kind of that maybe clients get the most value when they do obviously work with Dive IT Learning?
So basically, one is our candidates, which is internal customers, and the second would be our clients, which are the external customers. A lot of times, as a project manager, program manager, director, when I worked with all Fortune 500s and then the sole proprietors, small time business owners, the thing is end to end understanding of a job role. A lot of times, a DevOps engineer must know testing, must know the SDLC software development life cycle, must understand what a business analyst and a project manager is trying to tell them. The
Mhm.
requirement, communicating the requirement, decoding, breaking it down is not easy. So it's not enough for a developer to just be an engineer at the university, crack an interview and get on the job. That is not going to help him sustain the job. And that is why we're still looking at more than 50% attrition at work. People get hired and fired, hired and fired. There's a reason for that, right? And it's a cost for the company. The company,
Mhm.
for example, any Fortune 500 company may be hiring a set of 10 developers and testers, and out of those 8 are getting fired in 2 months. It's again cost for the recruiters and their hiring managers, and again the job seekers are back to square one. So what is that is lacking in terms of sustainability at work? It is the end to end understanding of what you're getting into. I cannot just be in face of a hiring manager with the coding knowledge that I have. I must know the teammates that I'm working with. I must understand the customer needs. Very, very, very important. Very important, right from the
Yeah.
top till every single executive in the company to be on the same page. This is also one of the concerns I face when I go as project or program managers. I'm like, we are not on the same page. We're all working toward different goals, you know. So that that personality and perception and analytical skills are important. And I remember talking to a lot of developers and testers in my orientations, and they're like, hey, Afshan, you know what? The reason I'm a developer is because heads down work, go home, have a happy hour. I don't want to be a part of all of this. I'm like, sweetheart, you won't be able to sustain a job. You will have to, put your head up, understand, listen to what your project manager is saying. You should be able to read the functional documentations. What are you trying to develop if you do not know what a BRD is? BRD stands for a business requirements document. If you do not know how to read a business requirement document, then what are you developing? What are you coding?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No.
yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's why, coming back to the two main key employees, developers and
Mhm.
testers, it's very, very important they go through DIVIT learning and the trainings that we offer. And I personally come in to tell them what is business analysis, what is project management, what is SDLC, software development lifecycle. It is very important for them to go through that in order to sustain and bring that long-term job security, which is a big concern for many of us these days.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I love how you kind of explain things. It's going into the depth of things of why, obviously you need these certain solutions, and these hiring managers need to be able to be equipped with these people as well. So I think it's a phenomenal point. I did want to, you talked about some of the concerns, and some of the being aligned with your whole team and how that's obviously important, and that kind of just maybe want to ask you a little bit around being the founder of this, being the CEO of a company. What are those concerns and challenges that are coming up right now that are tough to kind of deal with, that you're having the chance to write, or you're having the option right now to deal with? What would you say that those really look like?
Well, see, this one thing that I learned as a CEO. Um, I really don't need to get into the details of skill set of every employee or hierarchy or customer needs.
Hmm.
You know, motivation. Motivation is the key. As
Yeah.
long as I have motivated employees and staff and my team working with me, along with me, making customer need as a priority, then it's done. And the second was the 360-degree feed. I don't have to be the mother of all teaching them everything all the time. They teach me back. And that's when I know, okay, I've got the team 360 degree. I take them on board, I teach them, train them, they come back and they train me. So we train each other. That's the second. And the third is skill versus will. If I have to hire somebody with low skills and high will, I'll go for it. But if I have to hire somebody with high skills and no will, it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
about the right people work. I mean, I've had people who have zero IT experience and right now making DevOps placements for me. I'm like, wow, they know how to talk to clients and understand the client need and break it down to the job seekers, work with job seekers in how to crack the interview, making sure the cover letter, the resume, the package that goes out as a submission to the client is top notch, understanding what is VMS, vendors management system. They did it all. It's all motivation. It's all, human minds, human brain is the best thing ever in this universe. You put it to anything, it
Yeah.
will get it done.
Yeah.
So motivation, yeah,
And it's that's one of the hardest things to teach as well, right? Like
yeah.
it's either sometimes people have it or they don't. And like you said, sometimes you'd rather, even myself, when I'm looking to hire people, I'm always thinking about what's their personality like. Yeah, skills are important, but skills can be learned. It's hard to really teach someone that motivation and have that drive and have that uh, perseverance, whatever it may be in the role that they need. And I think this is kind of a perfect segue to the next question, which is in your opinion, kind of what do you think is the mindset that's really needed to be a successful CEO or a founder? What do you think that is, if you had to pin it?
Yeah. Um, Client needs, customer needs, solution oriented, and USP, unique selling point. You definitely want to beat the competition out there. So be unique in what you're selling and don't be disheartened if it's plagiarized. People copy, that's all right. Take competition in a loving way, in a
Mhm.
positive way. It's okay. It's good to have a competition. It's good to sell your product in a marketplace as opposed to something where there's no other seller, right?
Yeah.
So those things are important, and just be happy and passionate about what you do. Be very passionate. You've got to enjoy and love what you do. It should not be something like, oh my god, I'm working 5 days and I'm just have to apply for leave and then go to Hawaii. No, this is Hawaii for me. This is the Vegas for me. I love what I do. My customers feedback, client feedback, when I see my e-commerce platforms up and running, when I see those sales happening, when I see I do address a lot of RPO, which is recruitment process output, working
Mhm.
with recruiters and marketing managers and client delivery managers and developing their personalities and stuff. And when I see them coming back and telling me the success stories, I'm like, wow, that's what I live for. So be
Yeah.
passionate about what you do. Be in love with what you do. That's the thing I would want to say.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's phenomenal, phenomenal advice. I think that most people need to kind of take with them if they are going to obviously start a business. Well, in the next 12 months, what is your vision kind of for Dive IT Learning? What are you guys trying to do, or what are you trying to maybe expand into, or what's on the roadmap?
Oh, I know. We've had this roadmap that we've built for weeks together, and then it seems to be undergoing a lot of revisions right now. but, but I understand this is where I apply the gorilla approach, where kind of go ahead and choose the LOBs, the line of business, the product and service that can get you the results that you're looking for. So DevOps and testers. I want to work very closely with DevOps and testers. We have a plan on acquiring clients. We already have existing clients, the accounts that we have acquired, and we nurture it every month. So making it a client approach environment where we have the trust from the customer, the client, on the kind of talent, the kind of candidates they're looking for, and Dive IT Learning have the right ability to trace them. That's one thing. So number of clients that we can acquire in number of months in a given 12 months roadmap. And the second one would be working with our candidates very closely, having those trainers on board to help them understand anything and everything they need, which of course is documented well in the company in terms of cracking the interview and sustaining the job, both for experienced and non-experienced candidates. And the LOB, the line of business right now for me is developers and testers. But yes, all my life I did was business analysis and project management. But Dive IT Learning is more or less focused on developers and testers.
Got it. Got it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'm excited for you guys. I think you guys are obviously building something really neat over there. And I think the future is bright for you. I mean, you've already been, a successful business owner once. So, I mean, I already know that it's going to happen again, right? I think history kind of repeats itself. That's usually the ongoing theme. I did want to ask you maybe one more question before you obviously go ahead and end this, and that was kind of if you had to give some advice, right? What would you say? What are the most important things that you've learned in your career that you'd be willing to share with your audience, with the audience? It's a loaded question.
Yeah, a lot to offer there, I guess. Positive, be very, very, very positive. Communication is the key to success. Right communication at the right time, and be ahead of technology. Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. The moment, I mean, I have had a lot of scrum masters, and they were like, okay, we are scrum masters, why do you want us to go to the Kanban university? We know scrum, we can make a software, we are in high in demand. So I'm like, no, you've got to learn Kanban before Kanban wipes you off the market. Learn it and get a control of it. So learning doesn't stop. You've got to learn. I have li- recently I signed up for a data virtualization course. I don't know why, why, but I went through that. I'm like, okay, no, I need to understand what the data virtualization is, what
Yeah,
Data Protection Act is. So learning doesn't stop. Learn and have fun with it. The more you learn, the more you, that's the only way to secure yourself. There's
yeah.
not, no job can give you security. Your skill set, your education, your knowledge can give you security. So yeah,
Yeah, it's an
all
ongoing thing. Learning, that's a great point. I don't think anyone's really brought that up, other people I've talked to, but I think learning is such an important aspect of, if you want to be a CEO, you want to be a founder, if you want to just, excel in your role, you have to continuously be updating yourself with the knowledge that's coming out in that day, right? For me, it's like if I see a course, I'm buying it, right? If I see something that I can take, I'm taking it, right? Just because I want to expand my skill set. There's never you can never have the approach where it's like I know enough, right? You have to
I
say there's
know.
always more to learn. There's always more to grow. And so I think that's a great point. I think hopefully a lot of people take that home with them because that's going to be the thing that they need in order to excel. So
Absolutely.
it's been an absolute pleasure, Afshan. You did a great job. You did a phenomenal job. Where
Thank
could
you.
if people are obviously hearing this and they want to contact you or your company, what are some of the best places to go ahead and do that?
Right now, yes, you can contact us through the Dive IT Learning website. But since we started the company, I would say 2 months ago, I can also drop in my most plugged in email address.
Okay, and
So
I'll
you,
include them in the description. So whatever.
yeah. So perfect. And then I have a business phone number. So usually what I do is, um, I I get all these inquiries on daily basis. So every Thursday, I group them together and call for an orientation. And then my CDMs, my client delivery managers, will contact all of them and organize an orientation or an open house. Or sometimes I give a free class on Agile or Scrum for them to just kind of have an interaction with me. But having said that, if any of the inquiries would want a one-on-one consultation for any of things that they want to discuss, that is possible too. So my client delivery manager Kiran or Bhavik or Devang will work with my calendar to put them on.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, I'll make sure to include those inside the description. And thank you again for coming on, Afshan. We really appreciate it over here. And if you guys did make it all the way to the end, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe for more content. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.